Hey everybody, welcome back to our Cybersecurity Awareness Month video series. It's the last week, but it's okay. I'm Dawn Church, I'm Work Smart's Events Manager, and we have the fabulous Marissa Wayman.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right, so the classic traits of cybersecurity, like antivirus and firewall, have proved effective for years. We just did this fun video on these classic traits last week that you should definitely watch because Marissa somehow finds a magical way to compare them all to candy, which is just mind-blowing. But so they've proved effective for years, and I might sound, like a little bit of a broken record at this point if you've been following along. Unfortunately, the hackers have adapted and found new ways to bypass those controls. But the good news is that the good guys have also started developing and deploying next-gen cybersecurity tools. And I recognize that may sound like the old tools are now useless and we can just be done with them. But that's not true. You need both. So think of it kind of like when you're shopping for Halloween candy. And there's that fancy new Reese's formulation with pretzels and some other magical goodness. And you have to have it. You just have to. But you also can't forgo that classic cup. You need both. And the same thing goes for classic cybersecurity tools. You really need the old school and the next gen for the best protection.
I mean, it's so well said, especially because it involves chocolate. But we have talked about how antivirus is no longer enough. So we're adding a layer of protection, advanced threat protection by, I'm going to drop some buzzwords, using things like artificial intelligence and machine learning to get better at detecting and blocking malware that's going to affect your computers or is in your internet traffic.
And yesterday we started talking about how to create a security plan that connects all of these classic treats and the fancy next gen goodness together. And if you remember, we said that first step was to identify your risks so that you can remediate those risks and implement the right tools and tech for you. But, and there's always a but, since hackers are always sharpening their skills, even the best tools aren't always 100% effective. So I feel like we can't just leave it at that, right, Marissa? We can't just be like, oh, something's gonna get through and whatever, it's fine. So what comes next in the cybersecurity strategy planning?
Your hunch is correct. We shouldn't just do nothing. I want you to think about how we protect our homes. We have doors that lock, we have windows that lock, all of this designed to keep the bad guys out. And if you want to beef up your security, then you're going to probably install some sort of security alarm system that notifies you if anything gets past those defenses, whether it's like picking a locked door or maybe just sneaking in through the window that was accidentally left open because my kids never close the windows when they open them. But you need to think about this now, that same approach, and apply it to cybersecurity. Setting up detection makes it more likely that you're going to protect yourself by actively looking for threats that will bypass the security measures, the cybersecurity defenses that you've set up.
So are we talking about adding a new tool to small businesses' cybersecurity plans?
Well, it's a great question. The answer is yes and no. The technology that's used to monitor for potential threats is important, but it's super noisy because it generates a lot of data. It's looking at all of the systems to look for anything suspicious, right? Well, it's hard for small businesses to make enough sense of that data to know what to do with it. Whereas bigger enterprises have invested in what's called a security operations team that uses technology and the right people to focus on monitoring what's going on in the environment, but then also taking those important next steps of investigating anything suspicious and knowing and creating that plan to stop harm before it's caused. So for small businesses, that's where a managed detection and response solution comes in. It's SOC, Security Operations Center, as a service. Managed detection and response, or SOC as a service, is something that you can subscribe to that is designed to help combine that right technology for monitoring with the security expertise in order to offer you a full solution to those threats that do make it past your prevention barriers. All without, very important, all without the expense of actually building an in-house team, which is what you would need to do in order to get that protection on your own. So here's how MDR, or managed detection and response, works. Data is collected from the environment, right? All over, whether it's user activity, servers, devices. And then it's gathered into a single pane of glass where it's going to be processed in real time by highly sophisticated, advanced technology, and automated, I should say, as well. And then if something looks fishy, it's going to set off an alert that gets escalated to a security analyst, because that's who should be reviewing that. Plus, they're a real human. At the same time, the security experts are actively hunting for threats that are unknown that would bypass that technology. The key here, though, is this next piece, which is when a real incident is detected, the SOC provider uh, works with your IT provider in order to really make sure that you're taking into account your business needs and responding to the attack so that it can prevent harm. They also go one step further with this service by helping you to recover. That means finding the root cause and then making sure that now that we know what caused it, now we can fully make sure that the problem is solved, and then we can evaluate to determine where we need to adjust course in the cybersecurity plan so that we're continuously improving your overall security posture continuously. Just
Continuously.
continuous.
There's more ands, and there's more steps, and there's all these things, and it's so great for a small business. And it may sound very familiar because managed IT services provide that 24/7 monitoring of your infrastructure, like your servers and your desktops, to make sure that your hardware and software components are working well. Well, this is really the same approach with your cybersecurity systems. So here you have your security data being reviewed every minute of the day by software. And there's that dedicated team who's also on standby to address any actual cybersecurity attacks. So it is that win, 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 all the wins for
Wins.
SMBs. Wins everywhere. Um, because you can focus on your business goals and let somebody else focus on protecting it from cybersecurity threats. So that's all that we have for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See you soon.